Hey guys, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Jayla Townsend. I'm a Gold Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. And I just real quickly wanted to come to you and talk about how to host an online sip and see. This is something that I started doing months ago, and I host these every single month, and it has been huge in helping to expand and build my business. So I wanted to talk with you real briefly and just explain how I do that. And if you have questions, you can always reach out to me on Facebook. Just look me up and find me. And also, you're welcome to attend any online sip and see I have every month. They are private events. So just send me a message and I can include you in the invitations for those. So first thing I do is go on to Facebook, and you're going to create an event. And I don't know if you've ever done that before or not, but it's super easy. You go in to the events, you click the button that says create the event, you figure out what your image is you want to use, you name your event, you do a brief description of when, where, what, all the important information. It's kind of like filling out an invitation for a party. The only difference is this party is online. It's super easy, super cool, super fun. Just a few tips. I always keep my sip and sees 1 hour. People don't really have a lot of extra free time, so I find that anything longer than that is just they lose their attention and interest in what you're trying to show them. And think about it, it's an online slideshow presentation, really. So it's a great way. They can't see me. I can't see them. A lot of times, some of my guests don't say anything when they're there. Some people just are real quiet when they're there. So it's a really great way for people to get more information about our products, who we are, what we have to offer, and what it can do for them and their lives and their friends. So keep it to an hour is my first tip. Typically, I try to plan these the middle of the month so that you're not running into the beginning of the month or the end of the month questions and things. It just gets real chaotic during those times. And so usually the second or third week is a really great week, I find, to host an online sip and see. I generally schedule these events 1 week to 2 weeks out. So I'll set this event up. This past time, we're having one tonight, as a matter of fact. And I set this up about a week and a half ago and started inviting and reaching out to people so that they would be here. Another tip is this works really well when you have one person loading the slides, creating and posting. And then you have one person who's commenting, who's making sure that there's questions that are, if anyone has questions and they're asking those questions are being answered. So I choose to do this with my Power Partner every single month, and it works out really well. We have our system down pat, and I'm kind of a very organized person, so all of my posts are strategically in a folder, and all I have to do is upload the image and put in my blurb and just move on. One thing I find that as I post, when I put the image on the upload the graphic and then have my blurb and I click post, then I go back and read what I have put in that text box, basically. And by the time I've finished reading that, then it's time to put the next one up and the next one up. And I typically use about 50 slides or 50 posts, I guess you would say. That's just a really good number. I can move real quickly and just bam, 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 work my way through that. Usually my number is I want to be to slide 25 in my first 30 minutes and then finishing up in the hour. So usually we can get it done because we can load those really quickly, and then we have someone. And if my Power Partner is not able to attend and be there, I make sure some of my team members who are really great at answering questions, they're on there so that they can address any questions that might happen. And there's always comments, always. Another thing is you want to invite anywhere from 100 people to 200 people. And if you are inviting people, your power partner is inviting people, and then each team is inviting people as well. You'll have 100 people. Now, that's not however many people's going to show up. You may have 10, 15, 20 people show up. And just think about the 10% rule as for a party, or a 50% rule. If you send out 60 invitations for a party, you may have 30 people respond, and then of that 30, you may again have 15 to 20 who show up. It's the very same concept for an online sip and see. So we do that just kind of to get things set up. And I make my power partner, my co-host, so that they can add too. They can post in there and make comments if they want to. After that is done, you immediately want to start inviting people. There's no magic number. There's no set limitation on that number. You can invite as many people as you want or as little as you want. I send personal invitations. I call people. I reach out to them on Facebook. I send private messages. I send a lot of voice messages. I love the voice feature. You can just talk and they can hear the excitement and they know what is going on, and you can explain it a little better. Sometimes I think just the text, when we see that, we lose the inflection in our voices, and so sometimes we miss a message and the message's intent and communication by doing that. So I use a lot of voice messaging. So invite. You cannot invite too many people. But I will say I have had these where I've had 1 or 2 people show up. Well, those 2 people or that one person, they end up joining us either as a customer or as an ambassador. So it doesn't matter if you have a large number or a small number, you still commit and uphold that commitment to that event, because you just never know who's watching. And if it's someone you have invited and they aren't able to be on at the time, they can come back in afterwards, scroll all the way to the bottom, and just read up and look at things again. So it's a really great educational tool. I use monthly. I love it. Also, this same format can be used for a launch party to boost a new ambassador's business. The same formula, the same format. It's a really great tool for that purpose as well. So we've talked about how to create it. We've talked about inviting people. And then I want to talk about when to post. We'll talk about what to post in just a second. But when should you post for this event, for this online sip and see? Well, you're going to post you pick one of the 2 people. Either the person that's going to load the slides or whatever works for you. Usually I'm the one who does it because it's just easy for me. You post every day for a week leading up to the event. And you want to post things that are going to draw people in, things that are going to be very attractive to people and to spark their interest and to make them think, gosh, I really want to know more about these products. I want to see if it's something maybe that can help me or my family or my friends. So always think about what can spark someone else's interest. The day of the event, you start loading your post about 30 minutes before you host the event. 30 minutes is usually my rule of thumb. I usually host these from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. We're Eastern time. And my thought process is by 9 o'clock, kids are in the bed, dinner's done, kitchen's clean, bads are, it's just quiet time. 9 o'clock, moms can sit down. They've got their pajamas on. They're just kind of relaxing and chilling out. They could be watching TV, but sometimes they could do both, watch TV and read these slides. So it's just a really good time, 9 to 10, just an hour. So I typically start loading posts at 8:30, and they're attention drawing posts. They're talking about, in 30 minutes, we're going to have this event. I'm in my pajamas. Are you in your pajamas? And explaining the rules of the game. And then about 10 minutes before, we start talking about there's going to be prizes, make sure you're paying attention, and then the big post at 9 o'clock always is, please shout out that you're here and say welcome, whatever, how you say howdy, basically. And that lets us know who's been waiting. And then we start with a disclaimer and just some housekeeping type rules, introducing myself and my co-host. And again, all of these are just posts. It's not a live video. I have done a live video a time or two, but for the most part, I use just something that I can keep in a folder and pull from every time. It just makes it very easy. Matter of fact, I may do a live post tonight. I don't know. Who knows? We're having one at 9 o'clock tonight. So if it's something you guys want to participate in, send me a message on Facebook, and I'll be glad to add you to it. It's really great. Another thing is, what do we post? What is our content? Well, that's a great question. We have 16 products, but there's so much more than that. Okay, I said earlier I have about 50 slides, 50 graphics I use. Okay, so we have 16 products. I usually do 4 to 5 giveaways, and the giveaways are a 3-day trial pack, P96 chocolate and vanilla, body cream, Ease, and then another 3-day sample. Sometimes I throw in something else for the ambassador who has the most guests. That's purely at your discretion, but that's something to kind of generate some interest within your team, your level 1, 2s, 3s, and 4s, or whatever it may be. Also, one thing I forgot to add is that you want to make sure your team is involved in this. This is a great way for them to grow their business as well. They don't have to do anything but invite friends and invite customers and invite potentials. It's easy. So if I were an ambassador and my upline, my sponsor, was hosting a Sip and See, and they said, invite your potentials, I would jump on that in a heartbeat, because I don't have to do anything but invite my friends. It's kind of like going to a LuLaRoe party that someone else is hosting. You don't have to do anything but just kind of tag along. So it's a great way to grow your business. All right, so back to the content. 50 posts is my rule of thumb. And those posts, the content, you have a welcome, you have a disclaimer. The products, you have prizes, you have testimonials, you have the business opportunity, you talk about the power of 3, you talk about what Plexus has done for you, and you stagger the prizes throughout all of those posts so that you have a wide, broad audience and you keep their attention. Sometimes I notice that people drop off towards the end, or we have moms or dads or friends who are late jumping on and they jump on at the end, and that's okay too. That's why I do a 3-day at the beginning and the end, because I want to encompass everybody. I want everyone to feel like they can participate. So after the event is over, what do you do then? You've just hosted this hour-long event. Well, you follow up with everyone that attended. If they clicked yes, they were going. That's another thing I like about the events. When you invite them, they can say yes, no, or maybe. That's awesome. You can get an RSVP. What I find is I have people who show up who never RSVP, ever. And they pop up in the party, commenting, winning prizes, asking questions. So don't let that just be your rule of thumb. Those are the people that attended. Make sure you go back and look if anyone liked your post, if anyone commented. You want to reach out to those people personally so that you can start building that relationship with them, maybe answer some questions, or just thank them for taking their time that they could be doing something else and watching and learning more about what you have to offer. So follow-up is important at the end. And then one final thing is I do this every single month without fail. I have it set up where if I'm traveling, I've hosted these before, and I was traveling. I was in the middle of doing something else with one of my children, and I just was able to sit down on my laptop and load and go. It's just really easy and very portable, and that's the beauty about Plexus, right, guys? We can do this from anywhere. So if you have any questions, you can comment below or send me a private message or an email or whatever. You can find me on Facebook, as always. And if this is something you would like more information about, or maybe you want to look at some that I've done in the past, send me a message and I'll add you to those events. And that way you can look at the posts that I use. It's just a great tool to use for education and outreach. And I think that's an important part that sometimes we forget when we're so busy sharing that there are people that have that green personality and they want to look at it. They want to read about it and they want to learn more kind of on their own. They don't want to feel pressured. Nobody's buying anything. They are not under any obligation to do anything. They don't have to get dressed up. They don't have to find babysitters. They can truly sit in their pajamas and follow along. So a great opportunity. If you're not doing these monthly or occasionally, you're really missing out on an opportunity, I think. So it's been fun. I hope you all are having a great night. I have to go now. Have to get ready for our online event tonight. See you guys. Bye.